Hi, I'm Mo. It is November 7th, and I'm about ready to pick my next read in several categories. So I am currently reading She's Always Hungry. I'm reading this on audio, but I'm reading it one story at a time, and I am only on page 61. I just read The Shadow Over Little Chitterly, and I loved that short story. So I am excited to continue on with this. I will be continuing on with this on audio, but like I said, that's just like here and there. Then on audio, I'm also reading The Argonauts, so I'm almost done with this one. I'm about 3/4 of the way through that nonfiction. And physically, I'm reading The Colony, and I only have about an 1/8 left of this. So I will probably finish this tonight and this tomorrow. So I need to pick another book, and I am currently on my own because my husband is away for work. So I thought it would be a good time to do a little vlogging and also pick our book using one of the challenges that I have not been working on this year. I have talked about this before, but I was hoping to do the Buzzword Readathon challenge, the Buzz Coverathon challenge, and the Savage Prompts challenge for 2025. And in the beginning of the year, I was trying to catch up on these, and I was doing them every month. Well, not the Savage Prompts, but that's like a story for another time. Oh, and I kind of want to also do the Read Good challenge. Hey, get out of here, get. And then let's not even get started talking about the TBR spin because I'm also behind in that. But I think we should stick with the Buzzword Reading challenge. I'll look at the story graph, but I'll put the graphic here for you. According to Storygraph, I only have 8% of those done because what I usually do with the Buzzword Readathon or reading challenge is I don't pay attention to what I've read and I just fill it in at the end. Although I did fill in one of the prompts for some reason this year. I don't know why. With the Buzz Cover challenge, I'm 33%, 4 out of 12 prompts done because I was trying to do those month by month in the beginning of the year. Obviously, I didn't make it past April to do that. Usually what I do at the end of the year for the Buzzword challenge is I just figure out what books I've already read and then what I need to read. So I want to do that for the Buzz Cover Challenge and the Buzzword Reading Challenge. Maybe we should start with the Buzz Cover Challenge because I have the most read out of those already that I was tracking. Yes, let's do that. Get out of there. Can you tell that I don't know what I'm doing? Okay, let's look at the Buzz Cover Challenge to start and see what I have read off of those. The prompt for January was cover featuring a pattern. I read The Legacy of Lost Things, Infinite Blacktop, Madonna in Her Fur Coat, Excellent Women, according to this. What am I going to do about this? Am I going to show you every book? Does that even make sense? So I completed that. 4 books at least read for that. Stop eating that plant. Get out of there. Get out. I'm going to have to lock you out. Get out of there. You cannot be eating that. Shippy, you're a menace. All right, for February, the prompt was Skyline. I marked The Souls of Black Folk, Small Things Like These, The Amazing Mrs. Polifax. For March, prompt was books on the cover, and I read The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. For April was an animal on the cover, and I read My Dog Tulip. So let's go through month by month which ones I have not read yet. I do have a big old stack of books here, of books that I kind of want to read next, possibilities, so maybe one of those will fit into them, maybe not. May, the challenge is Eyes. I want to read this, but obviously there's no eyes on the cover. Have I read a book with eyes on the cover already? Probably. My Dog Tulip does have eyes on the cover because it's a man and his dog. A lot of the stuff that I've read that have people on the cover, they're not facing forward. I did read Yan and Moo by Junji Ito, and this has 2, 4, 6, 8 eyes on the cover. So I feel like this will definitely work. Okay, I have definitely read a book with eyes on the cover. You know what? Let me get my notebook. I vaguely remember Books and Lala saying like eyes out of their sockets over eyes in their sockets, if that makes sense. For June, the challenge is celestial objects. She says moon, sun, stars, planets, anything observed by astronomy. Ooh, okay, I have a good one for this. Where is it? I think Rocket Fantastic is perfect for this because it is Aurora Borealis or a galaxy, so it definitely looks like someone is observing the celestial from this cover. July should be a cover featuring technology. I feel like this is specifically like modern technology. Obviously, you could have cars, that would work. You could have buildings, that's technology. You could have the water tower, that's technology. But I think the essence of this is like new technology. Cars, I think, would work. What about these two? Oh, here's Excellent Women. I wanted to show this one because it's so pretty. Excellent Women. This is a good one for eyes on the cover. This one, How to Live Safely in a Sci-Fi Universe, has a ray gun, but I don't know if that one really counts. Stay True has a camera, so I think that counts as technology. It is kind of an old camera. We'll call that one counted. Especially because this is a lot about photography and the technology that was new in the 90s and how a lot of the memories that we form now are because of technology and specifically because of photographs. The memories that we can keep because of photographs. So yes, I think that one works. A cover featuring transportation is for August. I just saw one. I would definitely say this counts for books on the cover, but it also counts for transportation because there is a bicycle on the cover here. This could also count for technology because there is air conditioner here as well, which is kind of a strange thing, or possibly a compressor, but I think it's an air conditioner. I would like to read the second in this series. Next, we have foliage on the cover. There's a lot of potential covers that could have foliage. This is the prompt for September. I mean, so many things have foliage on them. The one I'm thinking of specifically, Spring Garden. It's in the other room, so I'll pop a picture up here. Spring Garden can definitely be foliage. Maybe this was fortuitous because we might have to expand this to go into the Buzzword Readathon as well, because I might have read something for every prompt on the Buzz Cover Challenge. Usually there's one or two that I haven't read, but it's looking like I'm going to hit them all. Number 10. And October is a book featuring a weapon on the cover. A car could be a weapon. A ray gun could be a weapon. It is used as a weapon in this book. That's a maybe. Oh, this is the book we should use. Everyone on this train is a suspect. There's a rope, a razor blade, and a knife. So we've got weapon covered. November, which is the month we're currently in, is featuring food or drink on the cover. I've been wanting to use these Mrs. Polifex books the whole time. There's tea, there's eggs, and a cabbage, pasta, and a tomato. And this one doesn't have food. December, next month, is a cover featuring a monochromatic color scheme. That is interesting. The bat would probably work for that. This one is almost monochromatic, but it's mostly because it's bleached from the sun. What about, does this count? We need to do something. It's very close to monochromatic. It's all like reds. No, I don't think so. All browns. Mrs. Dalloway is also very close. Oh, wait. Here you go, Shirley Jackson. This book took me so long to read. The Lottery and Other Stories, definitely monochromatic. It is gray, black, gray. I feel like this one definitely counts. Okay, so we totally completed the Buzz Cover Reading Challenge. But let's go back and look at the Buzzword Reading Challenge. What is the one book that I filled in? January's prompt was Truth and Lies, and I put What Lies in the Wood by Kate Alice Marshall, which I did read. Monochromatic cover. I just noticed it. Before we move on, let me know if you've completed the Buzz Cover Reading Challenge. Let me know if there were any standout books from that challenge. And let's move on to the Buzzword prompts and see if I have completed all the Buzzword prompts for 2025. This one might be harder. So I did complete the January challenge. And remember, the Buzzword challenge, if it's in quotations, it means the actual words. And if it's not, it's just related words. In January, there's truth and lies, and in February it's water-related words. If it was water-related cover, this would work. Here is a water-related word, swimming lessons. In March, the word is thing, and that is in quotations, which is funny. If it hadn't been in quotations, if it was just like related to thing, I would have used spread me, because that has a lot of thing references, like The Thing, the movie. Here's another water-related word, offshore, and this is a water-related book. And then I found two that could go for thing. We need to do something. And it's funny because thing is like isolated in this text. It's not the full word something. And then also I have small things like these. That is covered. The prompt for April is animals. I must have some books that talk about animals. Where was that? I just saw it. My favorite animal, the cat, the quilt, and the corpse. The May prompt is to or two, so the word T-O or the word T-O-O. I've got a lot of ats, I've got a lot of ins, I've got a lot of ofs, but I think we have to use this one again. I'd love to find another one. Oh, I see one. We took to the woods. June might be a hard one. It is memory-related words. So, memory-related words. Her examples are memory, forget, remember, confuse, know. I think the only one I have for that would be no, and it's no one can know. It's all the way at the bottom of a stack, so I'm not going to grab it. Let me just see if there's any other. And I did read Olga Dies Dreaming. I don't know where that one is. I read a lot of books about memory, but I haven't read that many books with memory words. I did like the Kate Alice Marshall book. I didn't like A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I get those two authors confused. I like Kate Alice Marshall. I do not like Stacey Willingham. I did read Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. That could count as a memory word. I think that's it. July, the prompt was titles featuring punctuation. I feel like I definitely read some of this. I mean, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind has a comma. Spy Family is sometimes called Spy X Family, like Spy Times Family, so that kind of counts. Yan and Moo has an ampersand. At Bertram's Hotel has an apostrophe. This one is also covered. August is with. Don't get too excited, but this might be the one. Let's see. So close. I did read Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood, which was a short story that I enjoyed. September, the prompt is events, and this is featuring a time-specific activity, for example, vacation, party, birthday, wedding, retreat, prom. I definitely have read something like this. I think you could count When the Reckoning Comes. I think you could count At Bertram's Hotel. I think you can definitely count Winter at Sokjo. Violent Words is for October. I have read quite a few mysteries, so I'm sure I have some violent words in here. Gil's All Fright Diner, The Dead Take the A Train. The prompt for this month is never. Never. Do I have a book with never? The Crazy Kill, also a violent word. Never. I have no longer human, but that's not never. I have the infinite blacktop, which is the opposite of never. I have every heart a doorway, which is also an opposite word of never. I did not read a book with the word never. That's fun because it's this month too. Let's come back to that in a second. Let's just do December really quick. So the December prompt is titles featuring alliteration, which is titles that feature two or more words that begin with the same sound. Gone Girl, Summer of Salt, etc., etc. I did just read Death by Dumpling, so that counts. Read Lady Rights a Wrong, which has RR sound. I read Black and Buddhist, and I read The Legacy of Lost Things. So I definitely read alliteration. I have not read a book with never. So finally, after 2 challenges and after all that combing through, we found a book that I have not read that's on the Buzzword Readathon. So let me just see if I have a book with never in the title, or if I have to maybe read a book that's not on my TBR. I would, of course, prefer to read a book that's on my TBR. This is where my RAB spreadsheet comes in handy quite a bit, because I can just put never in and then look at all my yearly pages and see if I have a book with never. Oh my god, I don't. Wait, what's this? Oh, I do! Where is that book? Do I want to read this book? I should, I guess. Is it a translated work? Okay, hold steady. I'll be right back. I have one book with never in the title, and that is The Never-Ending Story by Michael Ende. I have a couple more Michael Ende books as well, and Michael Ende is a translated author, so this was translated by Ralph Manheim. I have seen this movie in the 80s, of course. It was absolutely devastating and beautiful and wonderful, but truly a appalling nightmare fuel movie in some respects, but a good movie actually for like empathy and feeling for others, and to make you realize that your goals sometimes harm other people. So very interesting. This is a super long book. Why is this book so long? And the font is really small as well. There are pictures. This book is, holy crow, 445 pages. That is a long book. Let's see if we can get this on audio. And maybe that'll be my next audiobook. Oh no, it's not on Libby. Come on, Hoopla. Oh, it's not on Hoopla either. Shoot. Am I gonna read this book? Oh god. I don't know. I should read this because it's on my TBR. Let's read a little bit of it. Let's start it once I've finished my current physical read and see. If I get hooked, I will definitely read this. If I do not get hooked, let's see if there's anything on my want to read on Goodreads, which is where I put all the books that I'm like even vaguely interested in. There must be something on that. So how I use my Goodreads, even I like want to get rid of Goodreads, but the way that I use it, I do like it. I put my books that I'm currently reading and I track my progress on Goodreads. I don't like the way Goodreads puts your read books anymore. I much prefer Storygraph for that, but I like the tracking on Goodreads better. So I track where I am in my books on Goodreads, what I'm currently reading. I also put what I'm currently reading on Storygraph, and I do obviously fill in my books, but I find Goodreads much more limiting for that because you can't add books. I like that Storygraph you can still add books because I read quite a few old books or out of print books, so I read books that other people aren't necessarily reading and they haven't been added to Goodreads yet. So I much prefer Storygraph for containing all the books that I've read and looking at all the books that I've read throughout the month and throughout the year. Obviously, the stats and everything definitely help this. What I really like about Goodreads, or what I try to use Goodreads for, is the want to read list. I have 5,784 books on my want to read list. So those are books that I've heard of, that I'm interested in, that I want to remember, that I might forget about because they're older or out of print. So I put everything that I want to read on my want to read list, and then when I get those books, I take them off my want to read list. So if I had The Never-Ending Story on my want to read list and then I acquired a copy, I would take it off the want to read list, and then it goes on my RAB spreadsheet, which is my recently acquired books spreadsheet. And that is where I keep like my actual TBR, my physical TBR. Every book that I have is on there in one form or another. Is that true? Yes, that's true. Especially now that I've gone through all my basement box books and put all my basement box books on there as well. So let's look at my want to read list on Goodreads, and we'll just sort it by the word never and see how many books come up. Read. I have read Never Let Me Go. I've read Vampires Never Get Old. That might be it. Is that the only books that I've read with the word never in it? Wow, not very many. Okay, so I see here, not too many books. Truth That Never Hurts, Writing on Race, Gender, and Freedom by Barbara Smith. Nevermore by Marie Redonit. Where's Never Cry Wolf? Oh, here it is. Never Cry Wolf is a book that I've read, of course. Yes. Okay. Moonstone, The Boy Who Never Was. Never by Colleen Hoover. That I can take off. Never Been Bitten, Vampire Delivery Service #1. Neverworld Wake by Marissa Peschel. Never Anyone But You by Rupert Thompson. Never Die. If I Never Met You. Never Have I Ever. What are these? Never Saw Me Coming. I was interested in that one. That is by Vera Koran. The Lake's Water is Never Sweet. Oh, What Never Happened by Rachel Housel Hall. I just read a book by her. Never Whistle at Night. You Will Never Be Me by Jessie Q. Satanto. That one looked really interesting. Whenever You're Ready. That's cute. Because it's not really the word never, but the word never is in there. And Never Been Shipped. Let's look up Never Been Bitten, Vampire Delivery Service, #1 by Tavia Lark. I get the feeling that that is a KU book. They do have some books on Hoopla, but not that one. Shame, that sounds good. Let's look up Never Saw Me Coming. Never Saw Me Coming is available on Libby. It says, you should never trust a psychopath, but what if you have no choice? It would be easy to underestimate Chloe Sevre. She's a freshman honor student, a legging-wearing hot girl next door who also happens to be a psychopath. Ugh, I don't know. That one doesn't sound super great. Let's try You Will Never Be Me. You Will Never Be Me is not available on Libby, but let's just read the thing. When cracks start forming in an influencer's curated life, she finds out that jealousy is just as viral as a video in this riveting suspense novel. Oh, that sounds fun. Never Been Shipped. Micah's relationship to music is complicated. His band took off after being featured on a teen TV show, but the group broke up in no small thanks part to Micah's ex. Why did I want to read this? It sounds not like the kind of thing that I want to read. I really want to read Never Whistle at Night, but, well, let's check. Never Whistle at Night is available. This, I believe, is the byline is an indigenous dark fiction anthology. It features stories from a bunch of people that I've never heard of. Brandon Hobson, who I love, Darcy Little Badger, who I've read from, Tommy Orange, who I've read from, Wabgeshig Rice, who I've read from, Rebecca Rowanhorse, who I've read from. So yeah, a lot of people. Okay, I'm gonna place hold. It says about 2 weeks, so let's see if this one comes in, and maybe we'll read both. Maybe we'll try The Never-Ending Story, but if we don't, we'll definitely read Never Whistle at Night, because I do really want to read that one. And I'm gonna stop there. This video is gonna be so long. I was planning on doing the vlog in this, but let's do a part 2. So we'll do the Buzzword Reading Challenge Part 2 vlog. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here. Let me know if you completed the Buzzword Readathon, since you already let me know if you've completed the Buzzcover Readathon. Let me know if you've ever read The Never-Ending Story or Never Whistle at Night. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!